let's get cracking. So today we're doing a coaching skills masterclass. I'm going to be giving you some coaching skills that you can take away and apply to yourself or to your job role today. So it is a teach session. There'll be I'll talk about some other coaching tools, but we won't have time today to dig into those, but they're things that we cover on our coaching course. We've been delivering coaching with people that we train up on our admin and our marketing, cloud and consultancy skills courses, and it's part of that package that we give them, and we've decided to separate that out as a standalone product now that people can access. So it'll give you a flavour of some of the things that we cover in those sessions and whether you think you want to have more of it and you love it, or you might just benefit from the session today and walk away and apply it. It's completely up to you. Just as background to myself, I trained as an NLP coach practitioner back in 2006 when I launched my own business. I was 25 at the time, and I did the NLP practitioner course, and I also, which was a three-week long course off-site, so I'd have to go away for 3 weeks and learn all these great tools. Thankfully I didn't have children then, and I also did 2 coaching diplomas with City University, which is based in London in the UK, and I set up a coaching business off the back of that. And we actually, alongside myself, employed a team of 20 coaches, and we engaged and worked with over 10,000 young people during that initial first business that I ran. And it was through running that coaching business where we help people with their careers and setting up businesses that I started using Salesforce to manage all of that, and obviously the rest is history. I'm now running Salesforce consultancy, a training business and a recruitment business. So I've kind of come back to my first love of helping people develop their careers, but using the Salesforce technology. So that's kind of a bit about where this came from and why we're doing a coaching and skills course now. It's certainly not new to me. It's something that I've sat on for a while and gone, well, do we launch this as a formal offering as part of what we do? And it feels like the right time to be doing that, because I really do. I've invested a lot in coaching myself over the last year. Again, had coaching throughout my career journey at different points, and just really kind of reinvest in that over the last sort of actually couple of years now, and just feel the benefit of it so much, and having that person there supporting me. And I do it through group coaching as well, not always one-to-one. So I just really feel it's really powerful, and I think it's the right time to kind of bring it back to this mix. But today in this session, I'm going to share those coaching tools with you that are about creating a positive mindset, and talk about it from perspective of you and your sort of emotional journey that you might go on as you step into a new job role, or go for an interview, or step into a new role that's going to stretch you, or deal with clients where there's challenges or issues that you might have to overcome there, and really just help you get a positive mindset throughout all of that emotional journey, but also give you the skills to kind of recognize that in other people and know how to best guide them through that process. I think that's where coaching skills has really the double barrel opportunity to kind of enhance your career in a lot more ways than one. It makes you much more intuitive to people's emotions, people's responses, and how to support people through change, so you can sort of, talk to them and share these skills with them as you go through. So we're going to be looking about maintaining positivity and confidence, and we're going to be talking about gaining focus and clarity. So I'm just checking we've got a question here. So oh, brilliant. So sorry, somebody else was just saying hi. Fantastic. So the first thing I want to say is you've got this. This is one of our positive screensavers that we give our super mums. So yeah, you absolutely always have it. And the thing is if you're not sure about anything or you're not clear, then that is a time to get support. I'm one of those people that I do invest in support to help me rather than feel challenged. As soon as I sort of come up with something, I'm like, how do I tackle that? How do I do it better? Who do I learn from? Who knows? And so don't ever feel like you're alone and there's nobody to sort of ask for advice for in the Salesforce community. I think that's one thing that stands it apart, is there's always somebody that can help you with something. And we're hoping to fill a gap on some of these areas right now that isn't around a lot in the ecosystem. So I've introduced myself, but just to kind of, I suppose, fast forward to where I am now rather than where I started with coaching. I run Super Mums, which is a training and recruitment company helping people accelerate their careers in the space. So we've engaged over 260 trainees across our different courses, and I've also run a Salesforce consultancy now since 2006. So we have a team of 20, and we've worked with over 250 nonprofits, helping them implement Salesforce. So personally, I've been working with Salesforce for 10 years now. I started the first 2 years, I was managing the Salesforce system of my coaching company that I was running, and sort of did my first certifications and courses and really got a handle around the system. Didn't build it out quite right first time, you know, remolded it, redid it, had the joy of getting everybody, all the team using it, which wasn't always that easy. And I think that was an interesting journey, because like when you're then becoming a consultant and then working with other clients, it's like, well, why doesn't everybody get excited about this? How do we tackle some of those obstacles to kind of help weather their emotions and their feelings and kind of move them to a place where they all love it? You know, that's the sort of stuff I'm going to be talking about today. So I've done 8 certifications over the years, very happy with where I am with certifications, because they're the products that I use most readily. Would love to do more, but I'm on that path to kind of getting them when I've got the time and it's relevant to what I'm doing work-wise. So I've loved this journey. I think the biggest things that I've found have given me the confidence and credibility is, you know, having the coaching skills in the back of my pocket. They've always been there, but equally alongside the Salesforce admin cert, I've done certifications in business analysis, project management and change management, which hand on heart have been absolutely amazing to make me feel confident as a Salesforce professional. And they're the things that we teach in our consultancy skills course now as well. Having not come from a tech background, you know, I felt, you know, fraud's a little bit of a wrong word, but giving you a Salesforce admin cert doesn't give you the skill set to go out and sort of advise clients on their CRM strategy and what they should do. It's kind of, you need to upskill in all those different areas. So, you know, it kind of really gave me that authority. So after a couple of years of doing my own system, I decided I would go and work, sort of initially started freelancing, doing contract work, and then built up the team from there when I had more work than I could deliver. So I really enjoy teaching right now. That's my job. I've kind of gone through this journey where I started out as the admin, then the consultant, then the business development person, then the marketing person, and now I'm training. I'm still doing some marketing and speaking at events and things like that, but I really enjoy training and upskilling people. So I really feel like I'm the Salesforce coach right now. That's what I love doing, is coaching people. So I'll talk a little bit more about supermums at the moment, but I think this is really what makes my heart sing, is just seeing people achieve and feel confident in where they are and getting their certifications and helping them into great job opportunities. So yeah, it's what I really enjoy doing. So I'm hoping you all get something really useful out of today. So hopefully that gives you confidence and credibility in me, and that I'm going to give you something useful to talk about. So let's put positivity in context, and as I say, I'll look at this from 2 different mindsets really. Personally for you, you might go through emotional changes at different points, and I'll talk through these different emotional states in a moment and situations that you might see and recognize for yourself. But also, these emotional states that I'm going to talk through are also things that your customers and end users will be going through if you've got a Salesforce project happening. So the ability to recognize that rather than react to it and look at it from a very logical standpoint can really help you kind of address it and think logically about, how do I get out of this situation? I can see that I'm here, or I can see that a client or a user is this situation right now. How do I move them to a point of positivity? So we're going to talk about how you can move people to a point of positivity and to honestly recognize where people might be on their journey. So the first sort of emotional context that you might find yourself in is the team development Tuckman model. And with the Tuckman model, what it's doing is recognizing that when any team comes together for the first time, they are going to go through an emotional journey. And that journey consists of the first stage being forming. And forming is where, best of intentions, you sit round in a room with a team. This might be you starting a new role. This might be you forming a team for your Salesforce project. So they're sort of 2 relevant situations here. And with the forming stage, what you're doing is outlining the roles and responsibilities in everybody in that team. And you need to make sure there's a team structure and put that into place, but everybody is clear on their roles and responsibilities and how they will operate as a team. Now, what will happen is that you'll move into a storming and norming phase. And what you might do is go back and forth within those different stages. So as everybody's bedding into their way of working, you might find that people start, okay, I'm going to put this into place. This is what I'm meant to be doing. They'll operate in a level of norming maybe for a while, but then they might question it, debate it, feel upset by something, you know, and that might come out in all different ways. It might come out in the insecurities, anxiety, anger, you know, and that moves you back into a storming state. And storming is where people are questioning that this isn't working. And they may or may not surface that, in that they might be frustrated, but maybe not air it. But the reality is this will happen, whether they say it or not. And when you start a new role, you might feel this personally. It's up to you to kind of acknowledge that and go, I just need to have that conversation with my manager about this. Or it might be with you and a client or your champion if you're working in-house, saying, okay, this team structure isn't quite working as I expected. Like, what do we need to do to kind of redefine these roles and responsibilities and get it to a point where you want to be performing? And performing is where you've embedded everything, but then performing is where people are working towards the next step in continual improvement process. So it's where people are then sort of improving on what you originally did, but everybody's working in a really nice, clear direction. So be conscious of that and know that that is a normal journey that you'll go through, but it's how you choose to move through it is the important thing. The second is the learning life cycle. So whenever you start learning something new, even in this webinar today, you might go, oh, I know everything, you know, I can handle this. And then what you might do is go through this learning dip where you're suddenly like, oh gosh, I don't know if I can do this. This is a bit scary. You know, you kind of hit that low to a point that you have to work through that and acknowledge it and kind of come up the other side to the point where it's satisfying. Now, what is really important in this learning dip is that you are aware of different learning styles. Now, I'm not going to go into that today, but it's another coaching tool that we talk about. With learning styles, it's all about knowing, well, what learning style do people have? And am I appropriately delivering training to them to get them to a point where they're going to be happy? Because if you haven't delivered learning in a way that suits their learning style, they might then result in the dip and not engage with Salesforce, for example, because they're not happy. Or equally with yourself, if you're learning something new and you haven't quite found the best training mechanism for you, then you are going to give up potentially, or you're not going to be happy or confident in what you're doing. So we gave on our coaching course session the other week, we gave everybody an exercise to do where they could go through a quiz and find their learning style. And it was really eye-opening, but it also gave loads of great tips around the things that you could do. So be conscious of the learning dip, but also address it and make sure that, one, you tell people about this, that, you know, whenever you're teaching or educating anybody, say it's okay, you're going to go through this emotional journey today in this session. That's normal. So people are aware of that and don't get too hung up on it. But also it is your responsibility as a Salesforce trainer potentially to make sure you're training people in the right way. And equally, as I say, I'm sort of covering this with two hats on all the way through. So equally, if you're not getting something, seek out support to get it better for you. The third area is the Kübler-Ross grief cycle 5 stages. And this might be applicable in your life. You know, if your people have been dealing with COVID, have been going through this, you know, you kind of go to that denial stage, to anger, to bargaining, depression, and then acceptance. And you will keep cycling through this. I've been through this several times with COVID right now. But if you have lost a job, it's going to impact you even more. You're going to be going through this cycle. And again, it's just being aware of it. And where you'll see this on a Salesforce project, and you will definitely see it, and I've seen it, is where people are really resistant to this change because they don't want to give up their normal way of working. They're the ones that technically are the losers of this process because they're happy working their own way. They don't necessarily want to adopt Salesforce. So how do you, they're the ones that you're going to have to put significant time into and energy to get them positive, being positive about it. And you may or may not succeed at that, depending on who they are. And you'll definitely see from some projects that those that don't want to engage in that cycle might walk away from their job because they don't like the new way of working. But those others you might save, and you might get them to the point where they do love Salesforce, but it's been a very emotional journey for them and you on this cycle. So just being aware of these different areas is really important, and sort of bringing these theories, I mean, we say they're theories, but they're real. It's sort of giving the context of emotional journey to, yourself, your manager, your client, kind of just being aware of this, and other people being aware of it is about emotional intelligence. It's about people understanding it and being able to put their emotional feelings into a bit of a framework which can help people kind of work out a way through it. The final thing that I just mentioned here is about mindset. And again, you might find that maybe yourself or a user at a client or where you're working is in a fixed mindset. They can't move from that. And what you need people to do is think about a growth mindset, about how, they can change their mindset to be more about, like, I can do this, I can learn new things, I want to challenge myself. And so again, just putting that up front with people and saying, am I in this mindset? Are you, if you're working with a client, you might say, right, we're going to go through this transformational change. Where are you now? How do you feel? Do you feel like you're in a fixed mindset? Or do you feel like you're in a growth mindset? Like, call it out to them. Be honest and frank with them and call it out, because what you want to do is people to acknowledge where they might be and don't even recognize it. Are they sort of fixed in a place which is not positive? And you might change the terms to be, more relevant to Salesforce right now, rather than perhaps what they've written there. But are they ready and open to this change? And I think it's really good. On our change management course, we talk a lot about this. In how managing change, and almost be inclined to say, where are people? Where are people emotionally? Who are your positive sponsors? Who are your blockers? Who are your sleepers, like they're complacent about it? We talk about actually putting people in boxes and really thinking logically about where people are in their life. So the first is understanding where you are in this journey. And then the next is, wasn't going the right direction on my slides then. The next is then, how do we move people forward in a positive way? So there's 4 things that I've mentioned here. Some are more relevant to maybe your life right now as opposed to with clients, but I'll talk about them as we go through. So the first thing is positive affirmations. So you could bring positive affirmations around you in your life. So we gave out screensavers to our super mums as part of a summit that we recently ran. You might buy, I've got this on my desk, so I've got my Make It Happen. Surround yourself by positive affirmations as screensavers or around your home, things that resonate with you, and repeat it to yourself, because the more you say it, like 3 times a day, the more it sinks in. But you could come up with some positive affirmations to work with your teams or colleagues or clients on a project and embed those in the way that you work. You've got this, let's make it happen. All these positive words really help lift people up and kind of create a song that people then sing. So think about how you can embed that in how you work and around you. The second is around positive anchors. So this is more about you and how you operate. So find things that reflect back on memories that you've had that make you feel strong, happy, satisfied, and really sit in that moment for about 3 or 4 minutes and really feel those emotions coming back inside you, and close your eyes and really, as I say, absorb that emotional state. Now, if you've got 2 or 3 memories, maybe just one is enough. whenever you're feeling nervous or anxious about doing something, relive that moment, bring it back into your present state, and bring all those emotional energies with you. So we want to make sure that positiveness is really coming up. So I have one distinct memory that I always use, which is doing my kiteboarding, kite surfing. Haven't done it for ages, but I love doing it. And that feeling of feeling strong on the board and sailing across the sea is my positive anchor. But I also have some belongings that I wear, like my mum's scarf and my grandma's ring and stuff, and things around me that make me feel positive. So create those positive anchors around yourself, or an emotional state that makes you step into a positive frame of mind whenever you feel that you need it. Particularly if you've got challenging people in any workshop. It's just something to be mindful of, in that you might not expect when you need it, but just be conscious that you probably need these things at points when you're challenged on things. The third is positive communication, and this is something very much you can use for yourself, but also how you communicate with your teams and customers. So we did a whole exercise on this. Again, I'm kind of touching on a load of things, but not going deep into some of them. So power words you can look up, but we did a whole exercise on power words. You know, make sure that you're using power words and energetic words in the way that you communicate, and also how you communicate with your customers and how you communicate with yourself. Because actually you can beat yourself up. I've got quite a negative kind of spin on my mind sometimes. I'm always thinking, oh, I'm not good enough at this, or what about that? And there's this internal chatter all the time that you can have. And it's a little gremlin on your shoulder saying you're not good enough. So you need to get rid of that. You need to use positive affirmations, but also you need to positively communicate with yourself. You need to say, I can do this, I can achieve this, I have achieved X, Y, Z. So the exercise that we did with our trainees was very much around, let's write down all the things that you've been great at, what you've excelled at. Let's write that down as part of your CV, or as part of a performance review, as part of a feedback on a project, and actually big yourself up with really strong, powerful words. There's a guarantee you probably don't do that. But the importance is the power word you use, rather than I did project management. You know, that there's no power in that, it's descriptive. So you can add a power word into that sentence to make it so much more powerful for the person you're speaking to, but much more effective, and it makes you feel that actually you were great at project management. So think about the power words and how you communicate. The final thing is positive relationships. You want to have positive relationships with people around you and your clients. And you know, you want to build that rapport. So again, things we've covered around this in our sessions is around body language, about communication styles, recognizing their preferred communication style. And it's important you build those positive relationships. So think about how you can do that. As I say, we do cover a lot more of that in more detail. But you know, find your tribe as well. With Supermums, people join Supermums because they want to get involved with a community of other people who share similar challenges and things to them. Salesforce have lots of Ohana groups that you can be part of, and as I mentioned at the beginning, is you never feel like you're alone and you can't ask a question if you've got a challenge on a project or challenge moving out there. So create those positive relationships, but also think about how you can create and sustain those positive relationships through being mindful about people and their you know, their emotions, their preferred communication styles, their ways of working. That's where NLP and coaching really comes in, because you can start to understand people better and kind of build more long-term relationships. So we've talked about those different areas around, you know, where people might be and where you want to be, and touch on some of those things. So let's, for the next thing, talk about getting clarity and focus. And this is about planning how you can move forward. How are we going to get there? So I'm going to talk about 2 exercises to help you make it happen, both for yourself or maybe for, you know, your customers, of where you want to be. So here's my positive affirmation screensaver. So let's make this happen. What we're going to do. So I'm going to talk about the GROW model, which is another coaching tool, and I'm also going to talk about a SWOT exercise that you can do. And the SWOT exercise is perfect for you, also perfect for your customers. So The GROW model is a simple, oh, sorry, jumped there, I don't know why it keeps jumping, is a simple structured coaching method to help your clients and you identify goals that you want to walk through. So the GROW model consists of G, R, O, and W, which stands for G is for goal, R is for reality, O is for options, and W is for will do. Now, what we want to do is help people think about, well, how will this move forward? So the GROW model will help you have a clear motivational strategy. It will help you with forward action planning. It will give everybody a clear vision of where they want to be and how they are going to get there. So it's great for as a project, as a project management tool. It's brilliant because it helps everybody appraise of where they want to be and gives them a clear vision of where they want to be. So a project management can be very much like, oh, time, money, actions every day. But what you want is a clear visioning tool of where you want to be. And so this is where it's a really great exercise. So I'm gonna look at the SWOT exercise as something you can do for goal and reality. Now, it's not the only exercise you can do. Again, we've dug into other exercises on our coaching course around values assessment, around needs assessment, helping people think about, well, am I living out my values? Am I meeting my needs in my life right now? They're ones that are very much aligned to you personally, less ones that we'd use maybe with a Salesforce customer, unless you want to go real deep into coaching with them. But the SWOT exercise that I'm using today and sharing with you is one that you can use yourself and you can use with your customers. The SWOT exercise is something we share on our change management course as part of our consultancy skills program. So the first thing that I'll say is on goal is let's get clear on your goals. So your goal that you set as part of the GROW model might be weekly, it might be quarterly, it might be annually, it might be for a specific project. So to create a time frame from that. And then the reality exercise is where we're going to dig into, as I say, you could do values, needs, the SWOT exercise. I'm just going to jump to the SWOT exercise now, which is really based around this reality. So as I say, the SWOT exercise you can absolutely use for yourself and you can use for your customers as part of the start kicking off a Salesforce project. So the first angle is, if we think about the SWOTs, the strengths is let's first appraise what are the strengths of your current situation. Let's get really clear about this. Now for you, it might be like, well, if you're not fully happy in your job or where you are, it helps you identify what are you actually happy with, and actually really dig down into that. For a Salesforce project, it allows people to air, and particularly those that are maybe not happy with the Salesforce project going ahead, it allows you to identify who they might be, because it allows people to just be okay with saying, no, I'm actually really happy with XYZ right now, and you might start to get a sense of who those people are, as I say, who are less happy or are concerned that they're not going to get like for like situation. So it allows you to understand, and that allows you to be, what is important skill is being empathetic people. So it allows you to be empathetic to where people might be going through a sense of loss, that they're going to lose a way of working that they currently enjoy. So what are your strengths of your current situation? Let's just get that on the table. The next is then the weaknesses. So this is where, if you're kind of moving people through change and there's going to be change, it allows people to flag up, well, what are the weaknesses of your current situation? Let's be really clear on what these weaknesses are. And if this is for you personally, this might help you flag up, actually, where is my weakness and where do I need to get support right now? Am I honestly going to get that job if I haven't got XYZ skills? Am I honestly, if I'm thinking about this from a project point of view, actually, we haven't got XYZ right now, and this is why we need to do this project. So it really allows those other people in the room or for you to kind of really go, actually, these are my weaknesses here that I need to address, and these are the reasons why, I might need to get help or we need to do this project. The third is around opportunities. So let's talk about the new situation for a moment and what the opportunities are that present themselves. But let's talk about the opportunities, if it's for you, what are the opportunities to achieve that new situation? What can you access to help you achieve that new situation? Or if we're talking from a project point of view, what are the opportunities to presented by the new way of working, the new system that you're going to have, and hopefully that will again put on paper for everybody. It helps facilitate a conversation where everybody's putting that on paper, and I say allowing people to kind of air any challenges or any things that might be going around for them. And then the fourth is threats. So this is kind of a hard-hitting one, which is quite nice from a change management point of view. And we talk about, within change management, we talk about burning platform as being one motivator for change. And so what are the threats of staying in the current situation and not changing? What will that impact that have on you, if this is about you, or what impact will that have on the organization that you're working with? And that can be really hard hitting, because it might shift you. It might be that pivot point where you go, okay, I need to make this change because actually the threat of doing this is that bad. So it's a great exercise, as I say, to kind of just really kind of get to grips with how you're feeling, put it in black and white, where you're at. It's certainly not the only exercise that I would do around reality setting. I think it's a great one to use with clients because it's not too touchy-feely around values and needs, because you're not necessarily assessing their life, but this is great as a framework tool. So if we go back to the grey model, sorry, it's just really sensitive. I don't know why, let's just jump back again. When you get to that point of goal and reality, you've already talked about some opportunities. So then you can start to say, what are my options moving forward? And, where do you want to go from this? What are the options you have? So appraise your options, write them all down, do an analysis. We've had this when people have taken our Supermums course, they're looking at different training options, X, Y, Z, and they're saying, okay, well, actually, I'm going to go with Supermums because it's going to give me the mentoring and work experience and everything else, as opposed to just training. So we know people consider and appraise all their options and choose to come on our programs because of offering different things. So assess all of your options the way you have to go. If you're doing a digital strategy and appraising whether the marketing team should have a new marketing solution or not, help them think through the options. So whenever we do a project around marketing solutions with a client, we would say, look, okay, we could do a MailChimp integration, a campaign monitor integration, a Pardot or a marketing cloud implementation. These are the pros and cons of all your options. You can choose which one you're going to go for. Because as a consultant, I don't always like to push them necessarily in a certain direction without them knowing the options they've got to go ahead. So, make it clear to them as a Salesforce professional, these are your options. This is what we understand where you need to go, but these are your options. Do you want to go for X, Y, Z based on the following criteria? So they're the kind of ways that I'd handle it from both points of view. And then the final thing is the will do. And what are you going to do to commit to move forward? So for you personally, I would say, I haven't gone too much into this in this deck, but we encourage like journaling on the coaching course. So write it down, create your plan, whether that's for the week, the quarter, etc. Write it down and commit. Put it in your diary. Don't have a to-do list. Put it in your diary that you need to do X, Y, Z. That's the thing that I learned from my coach that I had before Christmas, which was a coaching course. Don't have a to-do list ever. I mean, I lie, I'm still writing things down that I need to put in my diary, but if it doesn't go in my diary, I guarantee it won't get done. So do your will do commitment, find the best way that works for you to make sure that you get things done. And for your clients, you need that project plan. You need a really clear project management plan that everybody's bought into, that everybody's going to align to, and to get things done. So that's kind of the GROW model. So we've gone through the SWOT. So that's kind of the key tools that I'll let you take away. So I did have loads more actually in the deck I did, but it feels too much. I think that is, hopefully that's still quite a lot, but hopefully that's given you an insight into some of the things we talk about and we discuss, and these are tools that you can learn and apply right away in your kind of to your situation right now. So we're starting, as I say, we kind of do these sessions every fortnight, teaching people different coaching skills and techniques that they can apply straight away to their projects. We're starting, the course has been ongoing for a while now, but as I say, we're opening it up. So we're allowing people to start getting involved in it from the 7th of August if they're not current trainees and or alumni. So you can sign up between the 20th and 31st of July if you want more of this content and you enjoyed it. Just to talk a little bit about the course. The key, I mean, if you're looking to get more involved, learn more coaching skills, if you want to gain more confidence, if you want to feel like you can wholeheartedly step into a job role and feel really confident, there's some of the outcomes. Others might include securing a new job, increasing your salary, landing a promotion, or gaining new clients. Like, there's loads of outcomes that coaching can help you with. And the reason for that is using NLP and coaching will change your negative behaviors and patterns. It's about creating a new routine and a new way of thinking. Through the coaching sessions, we also want you to be accountable. So we'd love to know what you took away from the week before and what you did, if you did anything. So we want to create a pattern of motivation and accountability to us. So we can start to see how people are deploying what they've learned. I think the other things I've really gained from coaching is about creating balance to thrive in my life. And not always feeling like I'm running all the time and always catching up. So it really is, I love learning and I love teaching. And I think I love learning from my coaches. So if you're that kind of person that loves learning new things, but it's not an online course where you just have to go and do it. It's something you're going to show up to and you're going to learn, and then you can take that away for a couple of weeks and do it. Then it's great to kind of just work through and keep learning new things that you can apply day to day, or indeed talk about. If you're going for new jobs, you can talk about, I mean, the skills that I've told you today, if you're talking about this stuff in your job interview, people will be blown away. Honestly, like, people who just qualify as a Salesforce admin that don't have any knowledge of coaching or change management, if you talk about the stuff you've learned in this session today, people are like, wow, that's amazing. That will help land that job for you. So just this stuff kind of just puts you head and shoulders above understanding what you might see on a Salesforce project, how you might support people on a Salesforce project. There's such great stuff you've just learned today that you can immediately start talking about and apply to your new jobs in the Salesforce industry. Because the reality is you will understand and manage people better on those projects. You'll understand and be able to communicate more effectively with people, even at interview. So it allows you to present yourself with real clarity and real confidence in how you operate. And hopefully I've given that across. The reason I've skilled up or deployed these things is because I've been on projects firsthand and realized, okay, I need to understand this better and how to facilitate people who are not as excited about Salesforce as me. I need to understand how to train people because they haven't got it the first time that I've taught them. And I'm like, okay, so what do we need to do differently around the training? So there's great content every fortnight applicable to you and your Salesforce world. It's a 12-month course or a 12-month membership that we're offering. This course is included in all of our other courses. So we've got our admin course, which offers work experience mentoring for anybody who's looking to accelerate their career as an admin. I think work experience is the biggest thing that people struggle to get, and work experience with a qualified reference as well, somebody who's overseeing your work and can advocate for you. So we've got a great admin course that really helps people get that first job. We've got the consultancy course program that offers project management skills, BA skills, and change management skills, as well as the coaching. So that's all packaged in. So again, people can join anytime for that course. And then we've got Marketing Cloud course. So there's all those different courses that this is included within that people can access. Otherwise, you can take it separately, and the prices are just on the right hand side if you wanted to do it separately. So for UK sterling, it's £360 a year or £30 a month, which is amazing value, quite frankly. The coaching course I did before Christmas cost me £9,000, and I took out a personal loan. So that's how much I invest in myself and the coaching skills that I get. So this is amazing value for what you're going to get. I'm committed that much. I've spent 40 odd grand on my personal development since I left university. So what we offer and the prices we offer is amazing if it's going to transform your career and where you're going to get to. So the US and Australia sort of equivalents are there. But I love doing this stuff. My organization is a non-profit. We don't like to charge like humongous prices. We just want to help you get to where you want to be at a price that covers our costs for delivering it and gives my team a livelihood, quite frankly. So, we'd love to help you do that. The other free way that we can offer support, if you want it, is I've got a new podcast which launched on the 8th of July. So you can tap into the podcast every week where we're talking to different people. The actual coach that I was talking about this week, Kathleen Bryers, who I worked with last year, I interview her this week around leadership styles. So it's an absolute awesome course that I had, worth every penny in that way. So it was brilliant. So that's a little bit more about Supermums and what we do and how people can get involved. And what I'd say is I'd love to help you, feel confident in the roles that you're going through. So if you've got any questions, I'd love to hear from you right now. So please do put anything in the chat, any questions you have, now is the time to ask them. So I'll just give you a couple of minutes and you can answer. I put anything in there. So Permjit, you asked about one of the outcomes of the course is a coaching skills certificate. So it's not from an external body, no, it's not a formal NLP course. I mean, my NLP course cost me £3,000. We're not delivering a fully accredited NLP course. But if you work through and do 80% of the sessions, which we can see within our LMS, we'll give you a certificate to say that you've learned some coaching skills. And similarly, we give a certificate out for admin or marketing cloud or consultancy skills as well. We give you the certifications. So Salman, you asked about the Marketing Cloud course. No, we don't offer work experience as part of the Marketing Cloud course. What we do though, is through our recruitment arm, we'll help promote you into Marketing Cloud opportunities. We'll give you employability support to get you skilled up. We do currently have a Marketing Cloud partner that isn't offering paid work, but is offering volunteer work opportunities, which has been amazing because they are Marketing Cloud architects, and by working with them you would get an amazing reference and opportunity. So it's not something we formally offer as part of the course, but we are privileged to have a consultancy partner offering some volunteer work experience partners to some of our trainees right now. But we actively look to place you in roles, and we will refer you to other recruitment partners as well who actively do that, because obviously with Supermums, we don't have access to all the jobs in the job market, right? It's absolutely impossible. So we want you to kind of go out there and sell yourself amazingly well from what you do. For Marketing Cloud, we deliver the Trailhead Academy Partner Program. So we deliver basically a blend of courses at a fraction of cost of what you'd be paying commercially for those courses. So it's a really amazing value course. We're delivering the content that you would get anywhere else, but at a fraction of the price, basically. So it's really, really good value. But it gives you, as I say, you get the same training you get anywhere else. And the other thing about Marketing Cloud also is that because it's the Trailhead Academy course, that is the only way that you can get access to a real Marketing Cloud system and practice on it for a couple of weeks before you do the course. It's not possible to do that through Trailhead. You have to basically sign up for an accredited course. So it really does give you that hands-on experience that you can get busy with a solution and a system that you wouldn't be able to get otherwise. So Debbie, you said, do I access the course? You can access the coaching skills course if you're on the admin course. So we send out basically an email or reminder about the coaching course every Friday. That happens every Friday. We are launching it, so I forgot to put the time zones on here, but we are launching another time zone which are available, which is more friendly to people in Australia and USA. There's options, so one is sort of midday for the USA, one's early morning for the USA, so you can get the split between them. So we've just been doing it on a Friday at midday so far, and we've had some US people join who it'd be early in the morning, but we're launching another time zone in August. So yeah, that's great. And then Parvathy, I think I've said that right. Do we get real project experience too? So the project experience, to be clear, is on the admin course. We always guarantee work experience, volunteer work experience on an admin course with a charity project. And we work with Salesforce consultancy partners across the world to do that, which includes my own consultancy. So we definitely give people work experience, and that makes a massive difference for their own confidence, their own skill set, and also for getting jobs. So it really is a shift between getting a job or not, I would say, and sort of doing that. So that is on the admin course, obviously not the coaching skills course that we've gone through today. So Navra says, how do you market the candidates and ensure they are in place in the Salesforce system? So one, we can't ensure you're going to be placed in the Salesforce ecosystem. It's not something we can guarantee. And that's because we don't know who you are, your skill sets, how you communicate at interview. There's so many variables in like who you are and whether you get accepted into a job role. We do a whole employability module as part of the admin, a part of any of our courses. Actually, we have an employability module, and because I spent my last company was a career coaching company and a business coaching company. Our role was to get people into job opportunities, right? So we use career coaching, employability from that. So I use all those resources now in order to help people position themselves, develop their profile, develop their CV, develop their brand, how they can raise their profile in the ecosystem to get out there. The coaching skills is another key facet to that. You've got to equip yourself and spend time on yourself, and coaching skills is the way to do that. So if a trainee is on our course not benefiting from the coaching skills, they're missing a massive element of the course and what we can offer trainees. So it definitely is recommended that they do it. And again, we want to make sure people are resourceful. Now, the way that you'll get into the job market is, we, through the employability module, will obviously help you raise your profile on LinkedIn and you'll get your profile in place. We talk about how you present yourself. We'll introduce you to other recruiters or talk about other recruiters you could go to, as well as through our own recruitment agency. But there's one thing that is really paramount right now, is that if you're part of a workforce development program, employers understand that and respect it. So Salesforce has just launched the Talent Alliance partnership, of which we're one provider. And companies actively like working with them, because what it means is that they are getting people that have gone through a sort of workforce development partner that gives people this skill set and certain level of trust in how they've come into the sector and how they've got trained. And Salesforce actively act as a little bit of our marketing agency in many ways. We're just talking to them now about a BBC film. They put me on the keynote in front of 26,000 people at Salesforce at London World Tour last year. They've got us press articles. They've put us forward for awards. They've showcased our mums as trailhead articles. So that's the type of opportunity that we can give our trainees, because we can really kind of move people through, and help raise their profile through the options we have. So just reading back here. So that's so Marketa says, so since I've already got my Salesforce admin cert and you self-studied, can I get a volunteer job through you? So the only way we provide volunteer experience, a job experience, is through our Salesforce admin course. The reason we do that is, one, that we've put people through an intensive 3-month training program, and we know the level that they are trained at. So we quality assure all the training. We get you building out a dev org. We have a mentor overseeing the work you are producing and ticking it off as a homework record each week. And that is really important to us, because there's no way we can put you on a live project unless we know that you are confident and capable, because it can impact the project too much. And we've had it, unfortunately, in the early days, we didn't have that level of quality assurance in place, and it really affected our projects, because the trainee wasn't at the level that we would have expected for them to get on with the work. So it affected the client, the timelines, everything else. So we really, really quality assure that people understand stuff before we put them live on a project. And when they go live on a project, we at the moment have 60 odd trainees in the UK a year, for example, in my consultancy. So at the moment, our capacity to take people on courses is down to the number of volunteer projects that we can have. So we don't really have capacity to take on anybody else for work experience beyond that. And that's the two reasons why, you know, we really do a thorough job of making sure that everybody is up to scratch and is able to work on projects as possible. So Debbie, oh, so hang on, sorry. Navi said, I got your marketing cloud email specialist in December, but lack experience. So I think I don't know how you got that. If you did a Trailhead Academy course, with which ours is one of them, but there's other providers, then you get hands-on marketing cloud experience as part of a proper trial org. And again, it's just kind of having that opportunity to get hands-on. One of the things that I said to people is, you know, one of the other things I recommend to people, if you can't get, you know, if you decide to try and get work experience by yourself, is the way that I've got work experience throughout my life, and this started age 18, when I was at university, is I would write to companies, personally write, know who I'm writing to, know why I'm writing to them, show interest in that company, be really personable, and say, you know, I'd love to shadow, not get maybe hands-on straight away, but I'd love to shadow your team to understand what they do. Maybe if you show and impress them, they might give you some work experience off the back of it, maybe as a volunteer, maybe paid, but it's a foot in the door where you're not asking much to start with, you're asking just to shadow. And whilst we're all working virtually, it's very, very easy to have somebody sat on that call shadowing. So that's how I've always got my jobs. I think I've applied for one job in my life, and I've run a business since I was 26, so it's slightly different, but I go for interviews every day for job opportunities now through, you know, trying to win clients. So it's different. You have to, you know, pitch, but that would be the way that I would say, start with asking for work shadowing, to listen, to learn, because that's the first thing you need to do, is to listen and learn if you haven't got a load of experience, and then you can apply, and then hopefully you'll open the door. So thanks, Debbie and Permjit. I'm glad you're in. You enjoying it. So Permjit, the coaching course is exactly the same as what we're running now. We're just bringing more people to it, because we don't feel like, actually, we don't have loads of people coming to it. And I'm like, why? You know, this is amazing stuff. Like, people should be making the most of this. It's a key part of the course. So it's exactly the same content, open to trainees, alumni, and new people. So glad you found that advice useful. That's no worries. So you've got some hands-on, but absolutely try the work shadowing element. That would be key. So any other questions? We've got 2 minutes to wrap up the last hour, but thank you for all the questions so far. So if you liked what you heard today, I'd love you to tag us in any social posts. If you just want to put in the chat now the one thing you're taking away, that would be awesome. Like, what is the one thing that you learned today that you'd be taking away? Maybe it's more than one, but humour me with one. I'd love to see what that is. Just to wrap up, as I say, tag us if you enjoyed it on social with Supermums Global, and thank you very much. And if you are interested, you can go to our website and see all our courses there. You can download them, book in a chat with our team once you've downloaded it. We like you to download the pack first, because that's got loads of content in it. For the courses, the coaching skills course is just a sign up, actually. So yeah, I hope that'll be useful. So great to see what you've got. So there's been a recording of this session. We'll email it out to you with links. Great to see what you're taking away. Resilience, perseverance, absolutely. Never give up. Debbie loved the GROW model. Awesome. Personal goals. Daniel liked the shadowing idea. Fantastic. Great to get a foot in the door. Absolutely. Love the GROW model. Brilliant. Thank you so much. The SWOT, absolutely. It's really good. The SWOT, Reiki, brilliant. Well, fantastic. Thanks everyone so much for joining today. Really glad you got some takeaways there, and say they're things you can apply straight away to yourself or your projects. Let me know how you get on. If for those of you that I don't know, connect with me on LinkedIn. I'd love to know if you've applied them, if it's made a difference, because that's what makes me happy, is knowing that you've got something from this and that you've gone away. Otherwise, my job is bit boring. I don't know. So if you go and get a shadowing job, tell me. I'd love to know if you got a takeaway from it today, and that you kind of benefited. So yeah, it'd be awesome because it makes me feel useful and that I'm helping people. So thank you very much. Have a great evening, everyone. It was lovely to connect with you all, and have a lovely day for those of you where it's and have a good evening for those of you that are in the UK or elsewhere. All right, take care, everyone. Thank you for your lovely comments. Take care. Bye.